All right, so this is going to be the morning video because the GF is still asleep, and then I'm going to go refill a prescription and do other exciting middle-aged man things. So, but before I do that, before I go and enjoy the decline, I did want to pass on this fact. It's a fact. Um, I know you Americans. I call you Americans because you're not me. I'm not with you people anymore. You're your own people now. I don't know if you watch too many TV shows or movies, or you actually listen to your teachers. But you always believe that in the end, the good guys win or the US wins, or say, like, we're Americans. There's that still nostalgia that we hang around. And back in the days, the Americans usually did win because the much higher caliber group of people. But there's a couple problems popping up now that if you look around and you're all too busy watching your television, too busy watching TikTok. You're worried about whether you could kill babies in this state versus the nation to pay attention to some really critical things that are portenders of really worse things to come. And I want to use Lake Mead as an example, but I'll give you other examples. But Lake Mead, oh my God, did you know Lake Mead is dropping? Where have you been for 40 years? I mean, that's been happening since I was a young man, probably a kid. And now you have with the Vegas population, I think that's 2 million. They're dependent upon it. There's other communities along the Colorado River, which I know most of you with American educations didn't know. Oh, that's the Colorado River. It's just the lake showed up. Multiple millions of people depend on that. And then also people in California, I believe Mexico, some people in Mexico, if you care about them, depend on it. And all of a sudden now it's a crisis. And if you were to sit and think about it a little bit, like, well, how do we get more water into the desert? Well, we say, well, who's using the water? Well, there's a lot of people in California, Southern California, farmers, citizens, regular people pull their water, some of which off of the Colorado River and Lake Mead and Lake Havasu. And you're like, well, wait, there's this big body of water next to California called the Pacific. And what we should do is we should build nuclear power plants. Like, what does nuclear power have to do? Because you need I've talked about this before, you need the energy to basically boil water. It's a very energy intensive process to desalinize, remove the salt from the ocean water. And then you have regular water. And then you don't have to pump that to Lake Mead. You just pump that inland a little bit to the Californians to use it. And then you take the drain off of Lake Mead, and the Nevadans and all the other people, Utahians, Coloradans, everyone who kind of depends on it, Arizonans. There's the reservoirs fill back up and the crisis is averted. Now, I know most of you have liberal arts degrees. I know most of you are like, going to save worlds and change lives, and you are truly some of the most stupid people in the world. So you don't understand this, but nuclear power plants, let alone desalinization plants, are not built overnight. They take years to build. And I don't know if you knew this with California, it can take a decade just to get through the regulations. Because rich white women who inherited their money from their boomer parents need to protest. Oh my God, literally. So you go back a month or two, maybe a month only, a month. And they shut down the plans. The California Board of Oceanography or whatever unanimously voted against opening up a desalinization plant. Literally because it would kill plankton, because the water you reintroduce to the ocean is very salty, and it's too much sodium or too much salt for some of the ocean life to handle. And literally because you kill some ocean life, you're going to have 2 million people without water here pretty soon. And I like this example, Lake Mead, because it shows you just how integrated and how much infrastructure has to go into solving a problem. And how, if you kick the can down the road long enough, the problem's not solvable anymore. So let's look at what we got to do. First, we have to dick around with rich liberal white women who inherited their money because their fifis are hurt and they're environmentalists. And they're soy boy, you know, Me Too kind of guys who just want the poon. All right. So there's a long, ardent process. I was arguing that we should do this in Mexico. We say, hey, Mexico, here's them. Then you got to get the power plants, nuclear power plants up and running to power all this. Then you got the desalination plants. And not to mention the piping. And we all know how much Democrats like piping, right? I don't mean that in a sexual sense. I mean the Keystone Energy pipeline. Gas pipelines. Oh, every guy's got to protest because now we can stop progress. Yeah, I did something because I'm a loser. So let's just call it a decade, right? It's a decade until they shut off the drain veins out of Lake Mead for California, in the best case scenario. And they start pulling their water out of the Pacific Ocean. Right? That's going to be gone. Okay. There's not going to be enough water, and there's going to be incredibly tight restrictions, not just in Las Vegas, but all along that Colorado and Green River basins. Just not enough water, so everyone's going to have to suffer. But hey, you know what? We made a liberal white woman in Marin County or Martin County or wherever it is, wherever the stupid liberal white women live. She feels good about herself because she saved a plankton, right? But even if we let's say even we started today, you guys are going to pay a price. It's over. And when I say 10 years, keep in mind that's like a best case scenario. Because here's my question, and everyone's thinking about, like, for example, oil. Look, obviously I'm not a Democrat, but you truly elected a stupid man. I mean, I know I wasn't a big fan of Trump, but my God, do you have he's just dumb. I don't know if it's age or what. But you guys have shut down. You're bitching and whining about oil. Oil prices, gas prices, by the way, disaffectingly affect the poor. Presumably the people Democrats like. You all want cheaper gas prices. Do any of you know how basic economics works? And now you got the Democrats. What? They're going to tell the refineries to refine more. I don't know. Do you know? Do you know where milk comes from? Does it come from the store in your world? You got to drill for the oil. And if you go back, not even 10 years ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, we had the Bakken oil fields. A lot of Americans were employed. And now, I don't know what. The fish. Oh, you're mentally ill. Do you want lower gas prices? Well, we got to do this. Whoa. I'm also related to the Hoover Dam. Lake Mead, I should say. Global warming. Okay, here's nuclear power. Whoa. Which is why I can't take anyone who claims to be worried about global warming seriously, because they won't allow for nuclear power, which would immediately solve the problem. Well, not immediately, because it'd take a while to build that. The housing shortage. There's a housing shortage. If you want to look at the numbers, I don't care to bore you. This isn't as exciting as nuclear power or sparky cars. But you guys would like cheaper housing, right? We got to build it. We got to build it. You know who builds it? Tradesmen. Not liberal arts majors. Not these truly useless, worthless individuals, starting from, I'd even say my generation, Gen X on, where you all send them to college and they're going to solve the world's problems by just throwing government money around. You could throw all the economy, all the money in the world. We've printed off, 8 times the amount of money supply. We could throw it around. You know what it doesn't do? It doesn't produce stuff. It doesn't build new houses. And here we are, where there's a housing shortage. Just not enough houses to go around. Prices go up. I'm not going to bore you with the economics because that's too difficult. And you all think, like, what, rent controls and more government money? When the problem started over a decade ago, you sent all your kids to go major in dumb crap. And you're all going to solve racism and sexism. Oh, I'm going to have to drive state lines to kill my baby. Oh, that's the crisis. And not that poor people and middle income people can't afford a home. maybe you should have like promoted tradesmen. But this, whatever the problem might be, it could be how many of you are for auto mechanics? How many of you got to wait because you can't, well, yeah, I don't know, you can't do a brake job or something, I don't know. And you got to wait a month or two to get your vehicle fixed. Transportation is critically important unless you live in one of the few towns in the United States that has good public transportation. And so that's my point. Whether it's your auto mechanic being delayed by 2 months, water running out of Lake Mead, farmers not have enough water in California, whatever your problem is, who's going to fix these problems? And here's where you start seeing the real problem, where Joe Biden thinks through merely opening his mouth and breathing air out and dictating things that he can solve oil prices. He can't solve gas prices. You needed an investment in skilled labor 10 years ago, and at 3 to 4 times the amount of trade training that we did in the past, to have the skilled engineers, construction people, tradesmen, mechanics, electricians, etc., to even have the ability to build nuclear power plants, build desalination plants, get your cars fixed. I mean, would you like another one? Transformers. There's a transformer shortage. What's that do? It provides electricity. Do you like electricity? You do? Oh, well, you might want to look into the transformer shortage. We don't have enough transformers. Soon might be rolling blackouts. But that's why we need solar power. Who's going to install it? You with your liberal arts degree? I'm getting solar panels because I don't think the electrical grid's going to hold out 20 years from now. Who builds solar panels? Who builds wind farms? Engineers, not environmental studies majors, not women's studies majors. None of you worthless people build those things. And because of an underinvestment and lying to now 3 generations of people about what we really need and the value of who's valuable in this economy, essentially telling people, like, if you're a Democrat, if you're a socialist, if you have politics, then you're really good. It's like, no, we need real people with real skills and real abilities to build the real stuff we need to solve our very real problems. And that underinvestment is not coming to bite all of you in the ass. All of you, especially those of you in California and Vegas. Because let's say President Biden got his head out of his ass and said, and by decree, he grabs Newsom in there and says, you're putting in a nuclear power plant and a desalination plant. I don't know. I'm sending in the military, whatever. He forces them. He convinces them. He also wanted to do this by decree with the oil company. You better start making more gas. Or let's just say we wanted to open up the Bakken oil field again. Where are you going to find the people? Not only can you not find the people, but when the oil prices dropped, do you remember when gas prices were below $1 a gallon? Oh, what about evil oil then? Never mind. These people have moved on. They've planted roots elsewhere. You're going to have to get a whole new group of roughnecks in. You're going to have to train them. And good luck with Gen Z and Generation Alpha. I don't know if you're going to find a real man who could turn a wrench in that. What are you going to do? Tap old farts like me and boomers? It's going to take at least a year just to get the labor out there, and let alone the labor trained up to have people leave it. And you're going to have to pay an arm and a leg. I know where you're going to find the engineers to do all this, because already there's a labor shortage of skilled labor. They're going to be like, I could give up my job working from home to go work in an oil field. How much money are you going to pay? And then now you don't have the numbers. You don't not only do you not have the skills, you don't have the numbers of people to actually go and solve all these major infrastructural problems that we have, and the price of gas, and your auto repair, and the housing. And then, though I know it's maybe people don't think about it, but we're not talking the quality and caliber of men and women from 1947. Any of you who have had to deal with contractors know that their skills and ability and professionalism doesn't exist. their workmanship, their quality of their work is very poor. So you think Fukushima and Chernobyl was a problem. Oh, just wait till you see. You know how they say, oh, you don't want to buy houses that were built in 2005, 2006. So you're just trying to bang them out. It's kind of the same thing here. You don't want a nuclear power plant built in 2022 where they rushed it. And so even if you could throw billions of dollars at this, where are you going to find the people? They don't even have enough people to patch a road now. Because all you college-educated millennials and Gen Zers know so much about whatever crap they taught you. Whatever they didn't even give you a skill. They just gave you this worthless idea in exchange for $120,000 in student loans. I know about what? What do you know? Intersectionality. Oh, good. That's going to get water to people in Las Vegas. And so that's the problem you all face. It's too late. It's too late. We could have avoided this by being mature adults and looking and saying, okay, Lake Mead's going down. We need to get more water into California. So they stopped tapping Lake Mead. We're going to need some engineers, hydraulic experts, pipe fitters, plumbers, that type of thing, industrial level. And here we are, 2 generations later? We don't have any industrial plumbers, but, we have Bipsy over here, and she has a degree in diversity and inclusion. You can't drink diversity and inclusion. And I just, what really the impediment to these particular topics, these infrastructural projects I'm talking, what fascinates me is how environmentalism is not only a hoax and a fraud, but how it's a mental illness. Even when the solution, let's say global warming is a thing, there's a valid scientific theory behind that. I'll grant you that. Dude, let's get some nuclear power going. That'll solve the problem for now. It will replace a very big problem, the globe overheating, with what do we do with nuclear waste? Okay, well, maybe there's this area like, what was it, Yucamecca Mountain? Oh, no, we can't. Well, then you're not serious about it. You want a solution that doesn't exist. And that impedes all of it because not all you Americans, most of you Americans, I'm a good person, I'm a good person, I'm a good person. You're not. You're a worthless piece of crap who subscribes to environmentalism so you can feel good about yourself and not have to work at actually doing anything valuable. And meanwhile, all you Californians pay what? $9 a gallon in gas. There's no water in Nevada. Oh, good thing you guys in Nevada voted Democrat. I'm very glad you voted Democrat. You stopped the desalinization plant where you saved a plankton. It's kind of good now, but it's going to get worse. And the point I'm trying to say is your solution to everything, which was throw more government money at it, won't matter. I think even that's another thing. The oil companies like, screw you. I think this was more Canada because depending on who gets elected, all these projects get fired up again. And then when the Democrats or the socialists get elected, they get shut down. And these oil companies, the ones with the skill and the talent and the labor, they're like, screw you. We're not doing the start, stop. We can't get our investment back. We can't get our money back. You say yes, then no. The yes, then no. We're not doing it. And so even if Biden says, okay, we'll open up the pipeline, one, they can't find enough labor, okay, because the younger generations have no skilled labor. And let's also talk about your lack of work ethic, which I'm somewhat sympathetic towards in a Josh Flukian way. We're like, yeah, they're not paying you a lot. But the owners are like, no, we're not investing in the United States or Canada because you keep screwing around to the point that we can't make our money back. And we're going to go, if at all, we're going to whatever, South America, this place, that place. We're just not doing it. Gee, I wonder if that's going to increase the supply of oil. Oh, we don't need oil. We're going to get electric cars. Okay, then you're going to need nuclear power plants. Whoa. I don't know. I guess enjoy taking the bus. Enjoy being poor. Germany. We're not going to take any of that Russian gas. What are you going to run? Oh, we're going to fire up the coal plants again. Oh, because you shut down all your nuclear power plants, did you? Okay. I don't know what it's like to be so spoiled with parent and government money and have such worthless ideology shoved up your ass that you are no longer tethered to the real world and cannot make the connection between cutting off energy supplies or not getting enough water in to, oh my God, Lake Mead is falling. And this is why, like, you're you people, you're Americans. I'm dropping out, man. I'm not here culture. I'm not that dumb. I'm just not that stupid. I'm not that arrogant and self-centered. No, that's you guys. That's you guys. I know how to solve Lake Mead's problem. It's not hard. I know how to get the sparky cars going. It's not hard. I know how to lower the price of oil. It's not hard. The solution, the answer isn't hard. Executing it's hard because you don't got the people, you don't have the skills, and you don't have the time. You just don't have the time anymore. So enjoy a second world standard of living that is coming. For those of you, if you're interested, I'd say look at solar panels. I think it's I'm very pro solar, not for environmental reasons, but it's just economical. But for the rest of you, I don't know. I mean, Lake Mead would be a very interesting portender. Like, okay, are you going to let a major metro just die on the vine here? Are you? What are you going to? Are we going to? Or because you don't need lake water, you're Californians. We gotta save the fishies. That you're gonna let 2 million Americans in Nevada starve or die? Well, I just wonder what that mentality is like. But God, heaven help us if the fat acceptance movement is an indicator where things are going to go. Where it's like, I'm fat instead of losing weight. Like, well, their solution is to eat less and work out more. No, to get angry at people, to try to make big is beautiful. I mean, are we going to start making dying of thirst is fun? I don't care. It's hilarious watching you people. Chris is not here. $2. The Hoover Dam hike is the best. Yes, it is. It is the best, except there is no water down there now. Michael Manker, $4. Remember that bridge in Florida that was designed by feminists and collapsed? That's the future. Was it really designed by feminists, or did a woman happen to work on the project? There's a difference. I don't think it collapsed because a woman worked on it. Time Traveler, $37.97, $5. The banks keep houses off the market to keep up the price. Zoning laws deliberately restrict building to force up price. Building codes restrict tiny. Yeah. Okay, that's all true in specific areas. But you also look at how many houses are being put up. Not enough. Why? Because you don't have enough tradesmen. We shamed men from going into the trades. Oh, you're a carpenter. Oh, you're an electrician. And so now do we not only have less than we need because of touchy-feely modern-day feel-good crap, we have people who don't show up on time and are literally middle school boys when it comes to professionalism. I mean, you have millennial tradesmen now. You have Gen Z tradesmen. Even the Gen X, they don't show up on time either, but they're like the best of the worst, I guess. You're all going to have to become tradesmen, by the way. That's another thing. Not only do I recommend you get solar panels, I think you all better start learning how to fix your own cars and fix your own houses. I put in a wonderful retaining wall. The Blue Wrench. Rusty Shackelford, $10 as an electrician. It's really bad and only going to get worse with the push for electric cars. The infrastructure doesn't exist to support. Yeah, not only in terms of electricity, but who's going to fix the sparky cars? Look, the sad truth is you can't have an entire population of social science majors and liberal arts majors all bitching and whining and claiming the solution is to print off more money or take other people's money. You got to produce something at the end of the day. Some people come in, but I provide entertainment as an only girls fan, OnlyFans girl. I'm waiting for the food run. I'm waiting for farmers to say, screw this. I'm going home. I'm just going to make enough food for myself. And that's it. See you. Bye. Raf Federico, 2 British pounds. Hi, been a while. Keep spreading wisdom. Will do. Will do. Oh. Purple Mayo, new guy, $5. Stacked here on episode 6 of Chad's podcast. When you make less than 116,000 plus live abroad 11 months, you have zero tax liability. Moving to Poland, Philippines, sooner than expected. Yeah, I really do the Philippines know how to make a dam? Do the Philippines know how to set up electrical? Like, hey, we're getting brownouts here. We better build another. Do they know how to do that? Are they aware that's the problem? Or is there a bunch of liberal white Karens living in Manila? They're like, oh, stop. I want to feel good. All of you go without electricity or water so I can feel good. Alex Patino, truck driving Latino agent in the field, $10. Funny thing is that the Dems blame oil field companies for profiteering. If you increase the supply, the price of oil would go down. But refuse to give permits for drilling, but allow drilling on federal land that has been proven to have no oil. Mexican poops. Exactly. I work from home. I got my electric bike. I'm okay. I guess poor people are going to suffer some more, huh? Chi-Town biker, $10. Even in the trades we're dealing with entitled young pricks now, they expect to be top dollar because they have a certificate, which is useless if you don't have experience. Right. I'm not kidding. I'm becoming my own tradesman. Like, I've done so much work on my own house that if I could probably build a house. It wouldn't be great, but I'd have to I need dirt moving, like to actually lay down, pour concrete, run piping. All right, that's it. So there you go. Links to my books are down below. Enjoy the Decline, Accepting Living with the Death of the United States, and How Not to Become a Millennial, which will explain how we got here in this labor shortage. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.